Howdy. Alexa, turn on dynamic duo. A little more light. So, what am I working on today? Don't know. Get a couple hours in. It's about 11. I have to be somewhere at 3 o'clock. I may even have to be somewhere at noon, or noon 30, or 1. I don't know. Something like that. There's there's a fluctuation thing. I might be going to do something with my family. It's unmapped out, undecided kind of thing. So I don't know. Maybe that won't happen. I don't know. But in the meantime, this is what I'm doing. Now, the big fight. So you probably didn't see it, but I streamed, and again, I didn't really interact with the mic at all, or with the stream at all. But I did stream it, my D&D campaign this last Thursday, and what I did in that was it was a big battle. It was. This has been a long running campaign. It's been running for 3 years. We're coming close to the end. It's an amalgamation of two campaigns, two of the Wizards of the Coast campaigns. Magic Beyond the Witchlight, I think it's called, and then Ascent into Avernus, or Descent into Avernus. And I kind of blended them, kind of had some overlapping storylines, kind of created it, kind of merged them into one, although they still have their own little thing, parts that they do. But it's come to the point now where a big final scene for at least one of the two, which is Magic Behind the Witchlight, something like that. That one's a smaller campaign than the Descent into Avernus, for one thing. So these characters have gotten, because they're doing two campaigns at once, have gotten to the point where they're bigger than that campaign would. That campaign goes to level 8, and these guys are like level 13. They've gotten up to 13 because the other part of the campaign goes a little bit farther, and they've been in there for a while. But they had gotten pretty close to the end, so things have kind of been going out pretty good. And I've been just having to tweak things to try to get, make it, as necessary, keep things balanced for them. Well, they got to one of the penultimate battles of the game, of the entire campaign, the way I put it together. And whereas the game probably has that kind of like a soft ending where there is something that could happen and there's things that could go on, but ultimately it's kind of the end. I ended up turning it into a big monster knockdown drag out because there's other things that are going on in my version of it that actually came to a head all at that point. So they don't have this battle. Typically a battle's like if there's a guy with legendary abilities, a monster big bad that's got legendary abilities, that's probably the fight, right? That's him plus maybe some minions, some small stuff, things that make him work, but that's it. This fight has not one, not two, but three guys with legendary abilities. Three guys that I think are challenge rating 20. Now, here's the deal. They're not fighting against them all. Two of them are on their side. But the biggest guy is on the bad guy side. And they're fighting a bunch of previously pretty tough bosses. These are boss level characters that were major storyline interactions that they met as they were going. And these guys are all together now. These three sisters are in there along with this massive devil, right? He's a big monster fiend creature that's just he's CR 25. He's a massive machine of murderingness. So anyway, luckily they had these other two characters who are very big and strong themselves on their side. So he came into the battle and he's kind of distracted by these other creatures, of which he recently just killed one of them. However, everybody's pretty weak. They've been beaten up. Nobody's down, but people are beaten up. We had to stop it because it was too long of a battle. It took us 2.5 hours to get as far as we did. But I think things are winding down. We're getting to that point where at the end it's going to be kind of over. But a lot of guys are going to start dropping. We're at that stage. They don't even know. they have guys that are on the verge of going down. He's the game, the battle they're fighting against has guys on the verge of going down. Some. The big bad, significantly wounded, not maybe not on the way of going totally out, but then again, so is their main big guy is not even scratched yet. So they've got a lot. There's a lot going on still. Anyway, what I want to paint are some of the figures that I had to pull out for this battle that I've never actually got paint on them. They're just sitting there in their unpainted, unbeauteous form. And like one of them, they have Igglewiv in their battle, and I don't know. I mean, I don't really have a figure that really is a good representation of Igglewiv. So, but she's a normal person. She's just a very powerful witch, right, basically. And oh, hold on, I got to hold on just a minute. I'm doing two things at once. I ran a 143x times XP bonus raid on my Watcher of Realms, and I knew it wasn't going to let me. It was no way it was going to let me do 140. I think it let me do a lot less than that because you run out of space for all the heroes it gives you. I think it only let me do 18. But I'm gonna get rid of all those guys right now. So hold on a second, and then I'm gonna restart it, and I will be done. Just a moment. Almost there. Takes only a little bit to do this, really. And that's it. Okay, so that should have gotten me a pretty far ways through that, and now I can go back. Resource raid, XP raid, auto fight, max, start. Okay, we're back. All right. Anyway, so I have some characters that never got any paint on them, and I'm gonna try to get something on them. I mean, a base coat, little color. The fight's gonna be finished up 2 weeks. I have some time. Not the coming week. I'm gonna be out of town. Then the following week, one of our players is out of town, and then it'll be the week after that where we finish up this battle. So it will take a little time. Oh well, thanks. So yeah, the one I've been working on is not one of the ones in this battle, right? So, but this guy I've been working on my eagle. He's the guy I've been trying to finish up. He's not done yet. He's close. I still want to do some. I still want to pop the feathers a little bit more on the top, so I got to put some more highlighting on there. The underside of his wings, of course, are just base coated, so they're just basic brown. They don't have any real color on them. But I'm trying to add some stuff there. So yeah, this is the guy I've been kind of working on lately. He's been my project guy for a while. Hopefully I'll finish him up soon. But the guys in this battle that I've been wanting to get going, this is Baba Yaga. She's not in the battle, but this character, this is the mini I'm using to represent one of the other dudes. Baba Yaga is like the queen of witches. Interestingly enough, Baba Yaga is the mother of Igglewiv, according to the D&D histories. And this is the character I have representing Igglewiv. Now again, I don't have an Igglewiv / true to form character to use. This is just a druidess, I think, but I'm going to use her because I don't have the exact figure. But she kind of has that magical appearance that a Igglewiv does, I guess. So I clean up a little bit of the crap off of her. This is a 3D resin printed mini. Both of these are. These are from Etsy. Etsy specials. Um, when I find a decent character on Etsy, I buy a lot of my minis off of Etsy because there's some good figures on there. Some really cool ones. Now I haven't bought any in a while. Obviously, being out of work, I don't spend as much money. But when I do go on there, I like to spend. I like to buy enough that I don't have to pay shipping. So yeah, I don't know how much. I'm a slow painter. So yeah, if this is the first time you've seen me paint, you'll note that I don't make a lot of progress in one day. So, but you know, I recently, this guy's not even done, but he's in the battle, the big battle that we're doing. This is what do you call it? A Jabberwock. He was he was in the fight. He was recently killed though. He died in the battle. Oh, why is he on his shoulder? This is the guy. You can see his wing doesn't have any paint in the inside. There was a reason for that. But this is the guy that just killed the Jabberwock. The guy's a monster. He's huge. And this is one I spent a fair amount of time working on him. He's not 100% either done. It takes a long time to build these guys. But like this one, I didn't have paint on him because when I got him, this is a WizKids mini. The wing was so molded or shaped up that it was wrapped around him too close, and I could not get a brush or the paint in there. So I did the hot water thing and tried to mold it so it stays out farther. And now I can kind of get in there and paint, try to finish that wing up. But you can see these wings aren't even really painted. There's no highlight or anything on them. They're just base coated. I think I airbrushed it to get this stuff in. So yeah, I have a lot of guys. Unfortunately, one of my I mean, obviously, I think I like the way his magma scythe, lava scythe came out. It looks pretty cool. And he was another one that broke, but I pinned his scythe, so now it should be fine. It shouldn't break anymore. And then the other guy in the battle is this guy. This is Lord Cillian. He's a master of ceremonies. I wanted him. He was a guy along with that devil that wasn't even supposed to be in this campaign, but I wanted to build him in, so I created a storyline that put this guy into the battle. So, yeah, this is one of the guys I painted in recent months or years or whatever. For me, it's all recent because I don't paint that often. But yeah, those guys are all in the battle, and even this little vulture. Of course, he's an owl in the storyline, but my little micro vulture. He's not even painted. Look, his base is still just mud. But so yeah, that's kind of me. I have a lot of figures that are like various states of complete, but one thing or another has me starting other figures, kind of like I'm doing now. Like these three guys who've never had paint on them. I'm going to try to get some paint on them. So, which means the first thing I got to do is put some. One of the disappointing things that happened recently. I dropped a piece to my airbrush, a really tiny piece on the carpet somewhere below me. I can't find it, man. And I can't use the airbrush without it. It's like, I got down there with my magnifying lenses and a light and a flashlight, and I went through that I can't find it. It's this little piece of metal thing, and I don't even, when I vacuum down here, I won't even vacuum in this area because I feel like it's still there, and maybe one of these days I'll get lucky and find it. So yeah, it's kind of a bummer. But either that or I have to go buy one online, and it looks like the piece I need is probably like a $30 piece. But it's like this big. It's like, I don't want a metal. They just overcharge for it. It's not worth $30. It's just what they do. All right, let's get some primer. Primer's boring, so what I'll probably end up doing is priming these guys. I like to airbrush prime because it's a little faster. Oh, you know what? That might actually, now that I mention it, there is a faster way to do this. You're going to have to give me about 2 minutes here. Maybe 3. Hold on. So, when I prime, let's prime black. Why not? So when I prime, I have some spray primers. I have a board. I just go out in the back here and spray them, and it takes like no time to prime them. It's better than brush priming, because when you brush prime, it takes forever. Like this guy, look at this girl, and this is Baba Yaga, and she is taking up. So I mean, that's just a lot of little details, and try to get prime in all that. That's not fun. So I'm gonna do the board priming. This girl's not gonna be too bad, but again, when you're trying to slop paint on it, prime is a fast, sloppy action. It's just, if you're using a brush, get a thick brush that can hold a lot of paint and just plop it all over, and then just spread it down to where you're not leaving buckets on your guys. But don't waste your time being tricky about primer. Fortunately, the problem with spray primer, gotta really shake it up. So I apologize for the noise, but it will only take me a minute to prime these guys, and then I'll come back and maybe I'll work on the eagle a little bit while that dries. It'll be usable or paintable in the next 20 minutes. I'm only doing these 3 guys right now, I think. All right, hopefully that's good enough. We'll take that. Take these guys out, and I'm just going out to my back porch here real quick here. Be right back. Okay, sorry. That's all done. That little delay of things, it's just faster to prime that way than my kind of trying to slot paint on them. So now I've got them all primed in black, ready to go. Now they need to dry, but they only, like I said, they'll dry in about 15 minutes. Dry enough that I can start slopping paint on them. And like the first coat is just base coating, you get some color on them, you get an idea of where they're going, that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, painting is not a fast process for me. There's some guys online though. You want to see some good painters. They can just, they whip stuff out. And granted, a lot of those are YouTube videos, which means they've cut out a lot of stuff. they're not whipping them out that fast, but it's like painting a mini in an hour is impressive. I mean, that is top flight. I have tried to do speed painting where I paint something in an hour, and it's usually a very basic model with like no details, no significant details. But then there's some of those guys out there who can just paint anything in an hour. I don't know how they do it. Like there's some guys online that stream like on Twitch. That's all they do. They'll paint all day long, and they paint like 10 figures a day, or 8 figures or something. They just keep. It's all they do, and they don't. They're not just painting for themselves. They paint for other people. You know, they do commission painting and stuff like that. But yeah, it's pretty impressive. All right, so I think that's it for those. I do have a couple of guys that are already primed that I think I'm going to try to hit while these guys dry up. I'm trying to see if I can find one in front of me that I want to work on. I have a lot of guys that I'm like, I just want to do it because, you know, they're just these are my, what I call it, top priority wanna do figures. And there's one here that I'm trying to find that I want to do. Let's see here. I like to, when I paint minis, I oftentimes will, let's slap some paint on this guy. I don't know why, but I want to put some paint on this guy. Let's do this Dragonborn. He should go pretty fast. He's already primed. He's primed in 2 colors. I don't know why I haven't primed that way. That's so weird. It's weird. Is he fully primed or is he only like half? I don't know what the heck the deal is with him. Why is he half primed like that? I don't think he's fully primed. I think he's half primed. I don't think he's got prime on the rest of him. But I think he's one of the based on how I'm looking at him, he looks like he might be a WizKids figure. WizKids figures come primed already, so he might be partially primed. Just because. Yeah, he's got primer on him. He's primed everywhere. He's just a weird. I don't know why he's primed in 2 colors. That's going to be weird how the paint will sit with that. I don't know. All right, so let's do it. Let's go ahead and put some paint on. This is a Dragonborn fighter guy. I'm just feeling the urge. He's sitting here. So one of the things I do with my stuff is I like to. I use this as my base holder. A lot of times people use like gum and they put on the bottom of their figures, not different kinds of stuff. But I usually put the flex iron base that we have. I sell those for the minis, and you put it on the minis, and then it sticks to the magnet, and I can just do it like that, so I don't have to struggle with it too much. But let's get some paint down. So that's going to be probably a metallic. I think I'm going to go metallic on the armor there. So let's go find my metallics. Where are? Oh, there they are. Yeah, you've heard me talking about a couple times on my stream. I talk about. I don't know if I told you, Society, that I have a 143 XP raid going right now. XP bonus. Auto fight going. It won't let me do 143. It's up to about 25, but I'm gonna run out of guys, and it's gonna clog up in a minute, so I won't be able to do that many. But I just maxed it, so I'm gonna have a lot of XP to work with. What kind of gold? What kind of base should I put? What kind of armor do I feel like he should have? How about blue? Something metallic-y blue. That sounds kind of cool. Scorched metal. Oh, adamantium black? Or gunmetal blue? Gunmetal blue, let's do that. Well, it'll give me a lot of XP. I mean, it'll be a ton of I can level up that new legendary I got. And well, at that point, thing is, I have a lot of my guys are already pretty leveled up, But what it'll do is it'll help me to get some guys to 6 that I couldn't get before, right? Because you gotta buy enough guy. It'll give me a lot of the low level crappy dudes that'll get me some more 5s that I need to level up to 6. And then so that'll be helpful. And then of course if I get any legendaries next weekend, I'll have hopefully a lot of XP that I can use. And it is I'm using obviously an XP bonus thing going. All right, it's just gunmetal blue. Gunmetal blue is like just kind of a metallic blue. It's all. It's a dark metallic blue. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and add him to the list. Let's see what have I got here. D&D monsters, goblins, orc squad, Frosthaven, contest, special occasion. D&D characters. That's it. Put him in there. We will call him. Whoops. What's the best way to add to him? He's a dragonborn fighter. Okay, so we'll just go here. Start the clock on the dragonborn fighter. Let's do a quick photo shot of him so that I can get a pre. This is what he looked like when I started picture. It's kind of hard to tell, seeing as he's primed. It's hard to see him. And we'll do a quick edit just to cut the crap off of him. Oh, what happened there? Alright, that's good enough. Save. Nothing too fancy. Just put him in my. Just put him in here. And photos from my saved images. Yep, that'll work. And then we're gonna put my palette. Let's go to this is like the most beginning-ish I've ever started a figure in this app. I am not good at use. I always forget, and or I'll start a guy in here really late, and. I don't want to do that. Search by photo. Library? Gun. Metal. Blue. Alright. It'll let you scan the barcodes too. The thing is, all of my guys are up. I mean, almost all of my heroes, almost every single one of them is already a 6-star. I've got like half of the bottom level guys are maybe not, are like 5-star. But I don't think I have any hero that's not at least 5 stars already. So it's not as much as you think. In fact, most of my heroes are even promoted up to at least 5 stars. So getting the promotions, I'm slowly inching people up to promotion 6 and stuff, but yeah, it's really not. There won't be as much growth as you think. Most of my guys are already 6. But it'll stock me up for the future. I'll have some stuff to use. It doesn't take long. I mean, getting to 6 is a lot, right? Because going from 5 to 6, that's the big thing. 5 to 6 is the hard one. I have a lot of guys sitting at 5, but at 6 it's hard because you need so many of the level 5s. That's a lot. This first coat is really just fast, just slopping it on, and this is probably even too small of a brush for this, even because it doesn't hold enough paint for this kind of slopping. Plus I mean, it's a 1. Some people will only ever use a 1 for everything. I'm impressed by how well some painters can use the same brush for everything, even the minute stuff. I have to go to smaller brushes when I'm doing really tiny work. I don't have the skill, I guess, to do what they do, but whatever. Yeah, and that's the thing, maybe that's what I need to do, get more guys to 6. But again, like all my best guys are already 6. Well, all right, not true. All the best guys I have focused on are 6, which is probably the top 20 guys on my list. But lately I've had a few guys that, people have been telling me, you need to get those guys up. And so those guys, I'm going to try to get them to 6. Getting to 5 is pretty easy. Well, pretty easy. But getting to 6 is hard. But once this completes, how far is it now? I'm at 37 of 125. Yeah, like I said, it's going to keep stopping, right? Because I'll keep filling up. It'll say, you have too many of these. You have too many of these. You have too many heroes. So I have to keep going back and doing the bulk upgrades just to clear them out. I don't buy them in the shop very often, though, man. I don't buy stuff in the shop very often. And people keep saying, buy them all in the shop. I'm like, but I don't need them, and it takes so much money. I mean, you're only getting like 4 or 5 at a time. It just doesn't seem like the value is there. But I need to speed this up. I need to wet my paint a little bit. It's a little too not wet enough. And this guy may only get a little bit of paint because I want to work on those other guys. But I'm just doing him to get some base coat down on him and to give those guys a chance to dry. Get their primer, be primed and ready to go. And I don't even know what I'm going to paint them yet. That's all the creative part, right? Trying to decide what colors. Just picking something and going. That's the trick, though. When you're painting like this or anything creative like that, it's like a deer in the headlights effect. You're like, I don't know what to put on here. What color do I try? I don't know. I can't decide. I don't want it. I can't do it. So that's a lot of times what makes me stop painting a mini, because I just don't know what to do next. I know he's not done. I can't, in my brain, I can't visualize the next color to try. So I just go, all right, time to switch. And then I switch. And then I come back to it someday. But I leave them all close because all my guys in progress are always sitting one of my nearby in progress or needs to be painted cases. Yeah, I'm sure it'll help. It'll probably help in the long term. What got me into it is the fact that, okay, so one, I got my first introduction to actually having any kind of minis, right, was playing HeroClix. All right, HeroClix are all pre-painted, of course, but I really like that game. It is an awesome board game. It's a collectible miniatures game. I love I love the premise of it. It's DC and Marvel heroes, and when you fight, the dials, you turn the dials, and your guys change their powers. A lot of times they just get weaker, right? Because they'll start off at their strongest, and the more you beat them up, the stronger the weaker they get. Their dials change, and then but like characters like the Hulk, the more you hit them, the stronger they get. The dial will turn. What's up, baby?
I'm looking for my passport.
Oh, it's not in there.
Oh.
I don't think so anyway. It's probably in this. If it's not in here, which I don't think it would be.
Yeah, probably not.
I usually put it away, but alright, so if it's not in there, it's probably in that case.
Okay.
And the key is probably in here.
Okay.
right there.
One of these.
Yeah. No, I have. It's kind of a weird key. Oh, I think it's this one. I think it might be that one.
Thanks.
I think it's in there. Where was I? Oh, I don't remember what I was saying. Something about. Oh yeah, I was playing HeroClix a lot, and that's when I got me to creating my storage cases. And when I eventually I was like, people would start having these games with minis in them. I was like, those are kind of cool. And I started paying a lot more attention to minis as I created my storage cases and got them out. Started going to conventions and that kind of thing. I would see all these games with minis in them. I'm like, those are kind of cool. And then at some point, I saw somebody painting their minis, and I go, that actually looks kind of fun. To paint those minis. And eventually I said, oh, I'll get some paint. I did what do you call it, a paint and take. So that's when some of these places that make minis, like Reaper or somebody like that, will have these little things at a convention where people could go in and they'll give you a free mini, and you paint it for an hour. It's usually it's not one of the like really expensive fancy minis, but they give you like one of their bulk minis, and you just paint it, and it was fun. And then I'm like, this is kind of cool. So I'd buy me a couple minis that I liked and bought me some paint. And then, well, before you know it, I'm addicted. I'm buying minis all the time. I buy minis. And now I don't even like to buy games that have pre-painted minis in them. I like my games to have unpainted minis. And then I'll paint those, which of course I never do. I'll paint like one mini in a set. I've got a couple of games now with like one painted mini. And it's just because that's like one of my rules. I said, well, I got this stupid game. I'm going to paint a mini in it. So I pick my favorite mini out and I paint it. But that's like, and then, so I've got probably 1,000 minis at least. And I've only painted maybe 100, 150. If I counted all the minis I painted, it's probably not even, and I don't like to do armies. I don't understand how people can do armies. I do not have the patience to do armies where you have to paint like 20, 30, 40 models to play the game. If the game requires me to have more than 5 or 6 minis, I don't want to do it. That's why I never got into Warhammer. I thought Warhammer would be a cool game, but I just said no. I don't. And some of those games, all the models are unpainted, like War Machine, Warhammer, whatever. All of the minis are unpainted, and they require that they're painted to play the game. It's like one of the base rules of most tournament play. So if you go play with anybody at any of these like local shops, the rule is your models have to have at least a base coat on them. You cannot put unpainted models on the board. And it's like, but I got 25 models in this thing. 30, 50, sometimes 50 or more. I mean, I've seen guys put down armies that are just taking up half the table. And it's insane. It's funny. On a whole switching tracks again. This 125. Well, it was 143, but it stopped me, and I had to go make a bunch. But it was 143. XP raids. I still have 24 giant stamina potions. So what is that? That's another 4,800. Another 4,800 stamina if I actually wanted to use it. I'm thinking I'll probably use a lot of that to do like get promotions, work on promotion insignias and stuff, so I can get some of these guys that I'm going to get to 6, get them promoted to 6 as well. And it's a good thing to do when I'm painting, because it's like I can just pause for a minute, do a quick run, say, all right, run this 20 times. Run this 143 times. Just that kind of thing. I can't get behind this guy's shield. I don't know how I'm going to get my brush back there. It's like the brush don't even fit underneath his cape. I can see where the white spots are, but I can't get to it with this shield back here. I may have to bend it. I may have to bend it. Luckily, this is not a resin guy, so if I need to pull it, I probably could. Probably won't. I may have to do the wet, the boily water thing on him to get his shield in a position where I can work back there. But it is a fun hobby. I'm not like I said. I always have to tell people. In fact, I've actually had one person came on and I was doing something. I painted him. I was doing a base on a guy, and I was just talking on it. And some guy came in and watched. He says, "What exactly did you do here?" So that was a waste of my time. I'm going. Yeah, let me make sure everybody knows I am not teaching anything. This is just my relax and chat and do something I enjoy. Maybe have a decent model come out, but don't expect to learn too much watching me paint. Some people, that's the thing is, a lot of these miniatures guys who are painting online, they're teaching you something. They're showing you how to do this or how to do that. And I think sometimes people will go and they'll find a person who's painting and they'll go, "Hey, what's this guy teaching?" It's like, no, don't expect to learn anything from me. Except, I'll tell people what I think I've learned over the years, but I'm not a beginner. But I'm not an advanced painter either. If you simply count in years, I've painted as long as some of these experts. If you count in actual hours painted, I'm probably a novice at best. I don't really paint that long. I've been painting for a long time, but like a lot of times you'll see me say on my stream, "I need to paint today," and then I never paint. So that's kind of me. It's hard to make time. I know I want to. I enjoy it. I love to get the paints out and start getting them on guys. And I never regret painting. There's no doubt about that. Even if I can do it for half an hour, I'm always like, yeah, it felt good. I got something done. But so there's never it's never like I wish, in which I can't say honestly for video gaming. There are times when I'll video game and I kind of feel guilty of doing it all day long. It's like, there's so many other things I could have done. I've never felt that way about painting, and I think I know why. Video games are truly, they're a notch above watching television all day. I think they're more useful to your brain than watching television all day. But I don't know. They don't feel as fulfilling. I don't know. It's fun. It is fun to do some tactical stuff, but I don't know. I think what it is there's no end result. When you're done with the game or you get bored with the game, it disappears. You never see it. There's nothing to show for it, right? You don't have any long-lasting except memories about the game. Doesn't matter what the game is. Yeah, you enjoy it, but there is no semblance of what were you doing all that time until except memories. I remember when I loved playing that game. That was a fun game, but you don't have anything to show for it. Like if you do sports and you do it a lot and you compete and you like to do stuff, you can get things. You can see you have things to show for it. You have T-shirts that you've gotten while playing. You've gotten trophies. You've gotten you can even play in amateur tournaments and get stuff in sports, right? So yeah, there's a lot of plus you get to have your fitness, your health, all that stuff could come from it. Like you just feel better because you're in good shape. You've been working out to play these sports. Games, they don't have anything to show for it. In fact, a lot of times you're worse off. Some people play so many games they just they deteriorate. They get more out of shape. They get unhealthier, not healthier. Whereas sports, you typically get healthier, right? Because the more you do them, the better shape you get in. So, so yeah, it's like that's why I tend to, if I spend too much time playing game, feel guilty. Yeah, I thought it was kind of rude too, because it's like, well, dude, if you don't like it, don't watch it. No, it's not. In fact, painting is one of the few things you can actually listen to, like a audio book, or somehow I think it uses two different sides of the brain. I can actually concentrate and focus on my painting while listening to an audiobook or listening to a television show that I don't really care to watch. Problem is, I often look up to see what's going on, but so that's why I try to pick a show I've seen before, so I don't need. I kind of have the picture in my head. So like I'll pick one of my favorite superhero movies or something that I've seen, and then I'll put that on in the background, and then I can just listen to it because I kind of know what's going on in the visuals, and I can just watch it because my brain can concentrate on hearing and taking in the story while doing this. But there are certain things you can't do. Like if I'm working, I can't listen to an audiobook, right? Because that part of your brain that's apparently used up and focusing on the audiobook is focusing on work. So it's kind of like, there's certain things you can do, and painting is one of those. So it's kind of nice. So if you like audiobooks, painting is an awesome hobby to do both. Probably even better than streaming. Because streaming, like I said, is like, it's fun to talk to people though, communicate if there's anybody around. And it really clears your mind, right? Like if you've got half your brain listening to an audiobook and half your brain painting, you're pretty much using the whole brain. I mean, you're using focus, your brain is churning, the art part of your brain is doing something. You're consuming a good book that's interesting, and all those other worries and problems in your life, they can't. There's no room. There's no room for them in your actions. So it makes for a really a cool way to clear your brain of that crap. Let's put some more on him. I'm not done with this guy, but it seems like whatever he's got on him, whatever they put on him for his primer, they really put it on thick. It just feels like it's too much. Actually, no, I'm gonna use this one instead. I'm gonna go with the flat base stuff. One of the things I do with my bases a lot is I like to fully cover it up. I don't know. Unless I want to make it like an ice, I suppose I could do something like that. Then I have to at least get it base covered with something. Paint it blue. Make what he's walking on like an ice stuff. That'd be kind of cool. And then put like water around it, like he's walking around like the ices. That might be interesting. I've always got these ideas in my head to try stuff. That's what's fun too. You can experiment. What one of the cool things I've done, and I learned to do this at a convention also. They were doing one of those painting things. All right, they basically gave everybody a mini, and then they do this random colors thing. And what it'd be like every 10 minutes or something, they would roll the dice and you had to change your color on your mini. And it would be colors in a scale. Like they'd have 1 through 20 different colors, right? And they'd roll a dice and say, red hair. And then they'd roll a dice and it'd say purple skin. And then they'd roll again and they'd say silver belt or something, it'd be like. And then because they know what the character has, and you would have to change, and you would just be painting your character with all these weird colors. But usually they would have a theme, like it would be a lot of variations of red, like black and red, a light red, orange, yellow, that kind of thing. And then there might be another variation, like they might say you have to start working on the skin now, but you're only allowed to use certain color sets or something. So yeah, they would make it so you could paint it. It wasn't guaranteed to look terrible, but it was guaranteed to not be something you're used to doing. And so it was a good way to practice just like Say, I'm going to paint this guy with green. And it's every color's either got to be green or some shade of green using black and white. So you could, you can make them grayish, whatever. But you had to use, you would have to do something like that. And that's kind of a cool way to make you break out of your shell, because a lot of times people have favorite colors and they paint with those colors all the time. Even if they change it up, like if your favorite color is blue and you make a lot of things with a shade of blue, and yeah, they might look good, but then after a while you're looking at, I got a lot of blue figures. You're like, I got to learn to paint with other colors. Like, I don't like green. I'm not a green fan. But lately I've been using green a lot more, simply because it's not on all my minis, and I'm doing it just because it's different. And or sometimes I'll see online people will do different color skins, and I'm like, really? I'm so used to doing like the beige or the dark skin, but it's like people doing blue and white and other types of skin, and I'm like, huh. It does work if you just learn to practice it. Try certain things out, shade it with different things, and you can get somewhere with some of that stuff. I'm gonna go with I want to see what color should I do this guy. I'm thinking he's gonna be a blue dragonborn. So I'm gonna try doing something a little more blue for his skin as well. I don't want to be. I mean, he's got his blue metallic armor, which I'm gonna lighten up with some silver later. But for now, I'm gonna just try to do a lighter color on his skin. No, let's do a speed paint on his skin, huh? Let's go with whatever this is. Light blue. Tidal wave. Tidal wave. How far has it gotten? I'm at 70. I'm surprised this let me. I've never gotten to 70 on an XP rate. I must have really cleared out a lot of guys. Usually it'll stop and go, you got too many guys. So I must have really hit that limit on that. But it's going to stop any minute, I'm sure. What the heck? Why can't I go back? Nope, don't want to customize it. Just go back. Go back to the previous page. All right. Somebody's got to really shake them up, because the gunmetal blue has a, I don't know, it's whatever it is, the, I don't want to say the pigment, but the mixing agent or whatever that's supposed to be in there to keep it blended sometimes gets really stuck to the bottom. I have a white, it's called Holy White, which by the way is more like a light gray than white. But it's it really gets, you have to shake it for a month to get it fully. Why isn't this paint coming out? Plugged up. All right, this one's going to be a little quicker. Just going to color his skin up with this. I'm just going to slop this stuff on his face and his scales, his head. I will say this though, contrast paints or speed paints don't work as well. In fact, they work kind of poor on dark color primers. They're dark color primers just are so, they just, like black, just kind of absorb the color so much. And they don't allow for a lot of contrast. Not from light color, or from, opaque colors like speed paints. And then the white takes a couple coats sometimes. Just to even get a decent coat down. So yeah, usually speed paint's better off doing grays or using grays or whites or any light color really would be better in most cases. trying to see, make sure I'm getting his arm and that it's not armor. Yeah, so he's got armor. Yeah, having two-color primer on this guy is going to be a problem. I'm going to have to put a lot of darker color in some areas to offset that double primer. I don't know why this guy was primed that way. I mean, that's not something I would do normally. I must have just ran out of black primer at the moment and then never got around to finishing him up. decided I'll do that again some other day and came back and go, well, it's partially primed. Let's just throw some paint on. Probably not the best way to do that. Oh well, we'll figure it out. Maybe it'll be an interesting look when all is said and done. You know, when you're base coating, it really is just a matter of slopping paint on a lot of times. You're just getting things colored up. Eventually you come back and you start doing the cleanup and you start adding in other colors. Like this one, I'm going to have to add in some black or something to get some extra color on this areas that I'm trying to get paint on now because it's just too light. When you use them. Oh yeah, it clears them out pretty fast. Well, maybe I won't have that family meetup. I thought we were going to maybe do something at brunch, but it's 12:30. I don't think brunch is a thing at this point. They might have went out for drinks or whatever. Family came to town. We're going to the Bronco game tomorrow. I think I mentioned that before. But so the family actually came from Denver to go see the game. This is the first time they've done that. They come to Seattle to go to the Denver game. Which, of course, only happens. In fact, I think this may be the first time they've done it, even to the point of when they were in the same division. They never came up for a game. I don't ever remember them doing it. But for some reason, a lot of my uncles and stuff that are, would do that. Have gotten to the point where they're starting to retire and stuff. So they have more money they're just doing things more. They don't have to. They're not doing as much they don't have to work all the time, so it's okay to go on little vacations and stuff. They're spending their money now. Kind of jealous about that, but hey, they're young, they're older than me, which is fine. Here I am still looking for just a job so I don't have to get into my into my retirement in advance. It's like, quick! I don't want this to go down, it needs to go up. But Lotto. So some years ago, I had a dream that I won the lotto. Of course, who doesn't, right? No, but I mean an actual dream, and I had a couple of them. And I was like, okay, well, I decided at that time that God was talking to me, telling me, just it's going to happen. And so now I'm just waiting for it to happen. Now I'm not just waiting. Of course, I am trying to work. on the off chance that I'm wrong, which is possible. Dreams are dreams. They're not all messages from God. But I would like to think it was, and therefore I'm going to. So I have all these plans for how I'm going to. I think I mentioned I want to. One of these things is I want to have a charity. That a charity corporation that hires people with the intent to train them while they're working on projects for the company, but ultimately find a job for them somewhere else, so that we can hire someone else into the position and train them into, and just keep people up on the newest skills, always trying to keep our projects on the latest stuff so that people can. And really, it's a money loser, right? That's why I say if it'd have to be like a lotto. I wouldn't expect to make a ton of money off of it. A lot of these projects might just be fun projects that take months. Maybe ultimately they might make some money to contribute to the company, but they probably wouldn't be enough to support the company. But it's a what do you call it? An outreach, a community thing to help people build their skills up for, you know, the workforce out there. Because it's so hard to keep up with technology and having everybody wants 5 years of experience or at least 3 years of experience. And it's so hard to get that stuff unless you can work for somebody. It's kind of like my wife put it, like a company full of apprenticeships, built off of apprenticeships. Get people trained, get them the experience they need, and send them on their way. Hopefully to find a job. And part of the company would actually have a department whose job is to help them find work before they even leave the company. We would be their references. We would just help them find that work. I think it'd be cool. And of course, I'd like to do other things too. I mean, some personal items, like I'd like to start my own game company. I have games in development that I want to finish. Being able to afford to do that would be awesome. Put them out there. Finish those handful of games, 10 or 15 games, and see if I can actually make a game company viable. Board games, by the way, not video games. I like playing video games, but I'm not a developer for video games. Yeah, well, it's exciting once I actually get to do it. It's fun to think about, but until it's a reality, that's a lot of work, I think. But that's all right. I mean, I'm not looking to retire from winning the lotto. I just want to not worry about money and be able to help people out. I think it'd be cool. I might even have I want to have also, if depending on the amount of lotto win, I want to do a charity that looks for things to help people out. I mean, there's plenty of people out there. There's plenty of charities helping, homeless and that kind of thing. But I mean, like, what about people that aren't homeless but are about to be? Like, find people that are out of work. But the thing is, you have to have a pretty good crew of people that are able to vet potential donations, right? Because you got to be careful. You don't want. There's plenty of people out there that'll try to scam you. So my company would be mostly anonymous. Nobody would ever know. The idea is that any gift that we give would be unknown. It'd be anonymous. They would not know where it came from. It would be, through prayer and mentioning of through God's generosity, this money is yours to hopefully help you out of a tough situation. And that's all they would know. They wouldn't know who gave it to them. The company would not even be mentioned. And that's what I think would be cool to do too. Have an anonymous charity that people don't know where the money's coming from. But we would vet people out, say, okay, yeah, this is a legitimate problem these people are having. If it's a big lotto, I mean, you could help out people with medical problems or surgery expenses, that can't pay back their surgeries. All that stuff. You could do so many cool things with that kind of money, and that's what I want to do. But it would have to be, like I said, it would be incorporated. It would be something where it'd be a non-profit, but I'd want to hire people into the job that sole purpose is to help us find, vet, and distribute that money in as responsible a way as possible. I don't want to just throw money out the window, but it's got to be, if you think about it, the Mega Lotto or the Powerball, that's crazy amounts of money. No one person needs that kind of money. And we would take a piece of it, but the rest of it would just be Let's build these companies. Let's do it. I mean, that I could run a business like that. Think about it. If you were to win like the Mega or the Powerball that runs what 900 million, 800 million, I could run a business that's losing money, that's just being charitable. And eventually you might be able to do something where you start building up a way for people to donate to the company, donate to the charity, like any other, so that it doesn't die off completely. But you can run a business like that for a long time with that kind of money. There's no reason why you can't help people for years and years and years before the company, spends everything it has. I mean, just interest alone would keep money going into the business, unless you're doing crazy things like, you know, donating $100 million to various causes, which is great, but it's also, a quick way to running out of all of that money. So you don't want to necessarily do that, but I mean, I want it to be a viable thing for a long time where we're helping out a lot of little people doing their thing. I think that'll be cool. I'll have it. It'll be fun. And a lot of times, a lot of it will be handed off to, experienced people who are, in that world. And it's probably another opportunity to hire people that need work. Because getting a job these days sucks. I'm telling you, man. It is not fun. Yeah, I'm really debating this whole allowing this guy to be half primed. I said I could work with it. I'm starting to wonder, can I really work with this? Because I'm starting to wish I hadn't done it this way. Because this guy is seriously, this white bit is problematic. And I truly am starting to doubt, I should doubt my decision to leave it such. It's one of those live and learn things, It's like, yeah, I could probably do this. And then you learn that you can't. And then you're like, next time, next time on the great, should I leave two wrong color primers together? You'll know. The answer is no. Of course you shouldn't. Prime the other side. Well, you just told me that before, self. It's too late now. We're in this, man. We're in the deep end. We're going for it. There's no going back. Too late. Oh, look, it hit the limit. I have capped out. I don't know how many I got to, but it finally said you hit all your. It's enough of that nonsense, man. You've ran a million XP things, so I gotta go burn some guys. That'll take a second, but I'm gonna burn some guys here quick. I did it already once. It only takes like 2 minutes to burn a bunch of people. Turn them into higher level people. Alright, let's put this down for a minute. Alright, let's go let's do this. One quick thing here. Alright, so make room. I got to 84 out of 125 on that one. And then we're going to go back to the little guys. 22. Burn those guys up. I have 2 million experience at the moment. We're going to go burning out some guys. It's going to be pretty hard to run. I think I'm going to be able to do all of these guys right now. And then we're going to go here. guys. And that guy. And we're going to do these 4 guys. Hey, that's 4 5 stars. That's good. Now let's see what these consume the rares do. Huh. I already burned all my rares? Okay. Alrighty, so I burned through all those. Let's go. I'm going to do one quick thing with that low-level legendary I have here. I'll max level her. I'll star her up since I've got this stuff now. This is that new girl, Edith. I'm leveling her up. Now she's a 6-star. Woohoo! She's got a lot of promotion stuff to do still. How much? I have got just dudes I gotta convert now. Made everybody into what I could. I can probably do one more 6-star, but I'm not going to do that right now because that's not what I'm doing. This is paint session. Let's see who else. I could do one more 6-star. Let's see here. Let me. I want to. You can see what I'm doing. Here you go. I'll put it on top of my other thing quick while I'm distracting myself. You can at least see what I'm doing in the micro window. So, I want to, let's see, start up. Edith made it to 6, everybody's at 6. Wait, I haven't made him a 6 yet? Oh no, that's Ain. I thought that was feeling. I have it kind of tiny and I'm far away from the screen right now. Oh yeah, her. I've heard that she's pretty good. I should probably make her into a 6. No, I don't have any legendaries I want to get to 6. What do they say about her? She's only at 4.4. I mean, I guess she's good, but is she really that good? I'm second guessing my decision to go with her as my next 6. I like her. Well, that's Hollow. Should I take Hollow to 6? I should probably take Hollow to 6. She's a 6er. Think I have enough? Maybe one more thing? Kinda. Oh, I don't have enough. Oh, golly. Alright, what do I do here? Alright, I'll buy these guys. I don't know. I'm not a fan of buying these guys, by the way. I know, buy them all. But, I don't know. Feels like a waste of money. Buy these guys. Alright, go back. I don't know if I have enough still. I mean, those guys aren't going to go very far. Geez, all that, and I only have 900,000 left. I guess I'm gonna do more XP raiding. Let's go raid. XP raid it is. Modify max. I've only got 48 left. All right. I'm getting more upgrades going. Well, actually, only of all that 3 million XP I had. I upgraded one guy. Oh, that's not true. I upgraded 2 guys. Hollow and my new legendary are the only ones I got upgraded after all that. That's not a ton of upgrades, man. Yes, I know that. I mean, it made it possible for them to upgrade by upgrading a bunch of nothings, but still, it didn't feel very like I accomplished much in the grand scheme of things. when you do that and you like, yeah, what do you have, what do I have to show for it? A new legendary who might be useful. I haven't even looked at her. What people rate her. I need to look at that. Is she even? I mean, you said she was pretty good sometimes. It'd be fun to try her out. I'm always looking for a good character that can attack from behind other characters. Helga's like that character. Helga's the queen of those characters. But, and then there's Torch. I think his name's Torch, the one that breathes fire. He's cool, but I don't think he does that. He's not that strong, I've noticed. He's good behind characters, but he doesn't get any bonus for being behind them. He's definitely not good as a lead guy. But looking for strong guys that sit behind other guys that are strong is a good somebody I'm always looking for. What's the one with the boss rush? That's the Immortal Codex. That one only resets like every 2 weeks, doesn't it? So it's gonna be a while before I can do that one again. Well, other than the one top level. How does he not deal fire damage? He's breathing fire. You mean he doesn't breathe fire damage? No, he has to breathe fire damage. Are you sure? Or he at least burns. Doesn't he burn the characters? Burning is a thing. It's got to have something. I can't. I guess I never really read it all the way through, but I assumed he has some kind of burning effect. Well, his alt breathes like a blue flame, doesn't it? It's not, his alt is not even a, it's not even a regular fire. Okay, I'm not. See, this light blue would have been fine if I'd have stuck with it if I didn't use black primer. But in order for that to work, I'd have to put like a light color down and everything, and I'm doing it again. I'm painting his foot. Doggone it, Ken. Why are you painting his foot that color? No burn even? That is so weird. Why? Okay, they gotta fix that. What? That doesn't even make sense. Why would you give a guy the appearance of breathing fire and doesn't burn? That don't make any sense. But yeah, he's not even that, he doesn't hit that hard. I mean, I wish he hit harder. He doesn't. Oops. Huh. It's always fun to hear people painting. They go, oops. You're like, what did you do? There's a gap in this armor that I don't think was supposed to be painted the same color. That's what I was oopsing about. I think I painted... When you're putting down base coats, it tends to get kind of sloppy sometimes, and you put paint in places that you don't always want to. That's why then you go over it later and you refine and you fix all those little things. But you're going over it with, highlights and stuff to clean up your base coats. But anyway, there's a guy I was saying earlier, his Ninjon. He goes by the moniker Ninjon on YouTube. I think I don't know if he streams though, but he's really good. I aspire to be like him and Miniac. No, I don't. That's the amount of work that they put into their stuff. Though they've gotten good because that's what they do, right? That's their money shot. And yeah, I don't think I'm ever gonna I wouldn't mind learning some tricks and getting better, like, closer. But I don't think I'm ever going to be. I'm never going to be that guy who's just whipping out the amazement. I have some guys that I painted that have come out super cool, and people are like, "Ooh, that's really nice." But um, it's not a norm. It's like not every piece that I do looks like that. Most of them look adequate. They're like, "Yeah, that's not bad. That's kind of cool." But that's kind of where we're at. There's plenty of people. Ninjon and Miniac, though, you want to see some cool paint jobs. And there's other really good ones out there. Those are just the two guys I tend to watch or admire their painting skills. Sometimes I wonder what the sculptor who sculpted these was thinking. Because I'm like looking at some of these going, what is the heck is that supposed to be? What is that thing hanging off of his armor? I don't know what that is. And I'll sit there and I'll be just staring at this object that's just hanging there, and I'm like, is that skin? Is that a blanket? Is it a fur? What is that? Like, I'll show you. This guy's got something like that. I'll show you in a minute once I slap some paint down. You might not even be able to see it or know what I'm talking about, but I'll still point it out in a moment. But I need to try to finish this thing I'm working with here. Okay, so I'm painting with pretty dark colors, so it might be hard to see. But this armor, you see I painted this hard armor shell on the outside here. But he's got this textured piece here that kind of hangs down all the way to here, which is, it's not his skin, obviously, because it's hanging down all the way to down here. And I cannot for the life of me figure out what that's supposed to be. Is it like some undergarment? What is that? Is it just a piece of the armor that's got texture? It's just weird. I don't know. Just like this, I thought it was his arm, but then there's a ledge on the edge, so he's got something wrapping around his arms. So yeah, I'm having trouble deciphering what the heck this artist was doing with some of these parts. It's like, what did you intend there, buddy? Be nice if you could write to the guy, email him. All right, I'm painting this figure you sculpted. I could use some direction as to what is this? What the frickin' hay is this thing? I have a OCD problem with parts that shouldn't be there. Cape. Well, the cape doesn't have any texture, though. I mean, I could see how, yeah, that... Maybe? I don't know. Kind of looks like the cape goes over his shoulder on the top, above the armor. It's got these long parts that seem to go over. But maybe. It's the lack of texture that means it doesn't look like it doesn't have the smooth look that the cape does. Which makes it kind of hard to understand it. That's what I'm saying. It's when you have a part that just doesn't seem to match with any other part around it. You're like, what is that? And there's a number of models that are like that, where you'll get something, and sometimes I wonder if it isn't just, well, this one I can't. This looks intentional because it has texture and stuff built onto it. But sometimes you see these little parts that are hanging off, and you can't do anything but decide it is just part of the injection mold, like a piece of plastic that didn't break off or accidentally got stuck to the model when it was pulled out of the model, or maybe there was a flaw in the mold that left that leaves that piece on there. I don't know. I tend to be OCD with oddball things like that, and I either have to cut them off or reshape them or something, because I don't know what to do with it. My brain says, it locks up my brain. My brain goes, fix that. I don't know. Can't proceed. Error. Like, fine, I'll cut it off or do something. Like that one, I can't cut it off because I wouldn't even know where to start to cut it off. It is there. So I'm going to have to go with it's part of the armor. It's funny too, because this armor shell that's on it actually has a lip that tells me that's the edge of the armor, but that's not where that piece that hangs down is. And that lip of the armor goes all the way around and comes right back up here. So that thing is there. So all I can think of is it's like, I don't know. I can't, like, it's almost like it's just a blanket that's going under the pauldron. It's got to be some kind of a blanket or padding so that pauldron doesn't hurt his shoulder, I guess. I don't know. I mean, he is putting a steel thing on his shoulder, right, for protection. And I think having a pad under there is probably not. I think I've seen that kind of thing. It just seems like it's more obvious in other characters. So, I don't know. Well, I got armor. I got that armor on him, but I'm not fond of my light blue skin, to tell you, because it doesn't work against the dark skin, the dark primer. So I'm gonna have to fix that later. But right now, the only thing I got on him is gunmetal blue. I'm not gonna count the other one right now. I'll have to fix that anyway. So his skin will be something else. All right, so I got to put him aside because he's not the guy who was supposed to be getting painted today. I have some dudes here that should be. All right, so basically I got 3 hags. Well, 2 hags and a witch, which are all of which are hags, but all hags are witches. But I don't know that all witches are hags. No. Yeah, I don't think all witches are hags, and I don't think all hags are witches either. So, never mind. I take that back. In D&D, most hags, if not all hags, are witches. But in the real world, a hag may not be a witch. She may think she is, or she may act like one, but she's not one. Okay, so this girl, I believe she's a druidic character, and she's the one I'm using for she is the one I'm using to be my big bad, well, not big bad, but the big powerful witch that's on the side of the heroes right now. She could have been on the wrong side, but it didn't go that way. I mean, it wasn't supposed to go that way, but she's historically been all numbers of characters from bad guys to good guys in the story in her D&D annals. Problem is, if I paint her like she's supposed to be painted, she might not fit her part anymore. I'm leaning towards a blue druid. Wouldn't that be interesting? Like the flowers are blue, kind of like Avatar, kind of blue with highlighted flowers underneath. I think that might be kind of cool. Instead of the classic green and stuff that you get with flowery characters, or druidic characters are always green and brown. I'm visualizing kind of white clothes with the blue flowers with the white highlights on them, blue leaves, not flowers, but I think my light's dying on my headset. It's not as bright. I'm losing. That's a sign. It's a sign that I'm running out of time. Sign of the time. Let's switch over. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. So I will try something like that. The thing is, I just painted a guy with blue. I mean, a totally different guy, unrelated, probably never gonna meet each other, but still. They'll never be on the scene at the same time, but still. Okay, well, I'm gonna put on my backup headset. Hopefully it's got some light in it. This one kind of hurts my nose though. The rubber little thing on the end is kind of starting to screw with my head. Yeah, it's a little brighter. All right, let's do this. Let's go. I should probably, do I put the white part on first or the light color on first? That would mean getting her skin, her maybe. It's kind of weird. If I look at her closely, it's almost like her clothes are stitched together. Is that visible? Let's see if I can get some light on here for you. So, like, if you look at her pants, that looks like stitches, huh? Like her pants are like stitched together. Which might look odd with white. I'm trying to visualize the color scheme for that. If I go white, what kind of stitching would that be? Black stitching? No, but that's not druidic. I want it to be, because I can visualize like a dark green or brown with yellow like strings and rope, or things to stitch it together, green and brown. But white, druidically speaking, would be, it would have to stand out, like maybe a gold stitching. And would that work? Gold stitching and blue grass? Yeah. I kind of really want to do the leaves with the blue and stuff, but I don't understand how to do that. I don't know how that's going to fit with her pants, but maybe picking a different color that's outside of the norm, going with greens and browns, is so easy, especially with stitched clothes. Maybe a tan, kind of a canvasy color. Gosh, but how does that fit? See, it doesn't meet my visualization for the blue around it, the blue leaves. It's like I'm trying to build a picture in my head. And greens and browns and blue leaves don't work well. And I really want to do the blue leaves. And white, if I could think of a stitch color. You know what? All you can do is try, right? Let's do it. I'm painting white. I'm going white with the pants. If you don't try it, you'll never know. It'll look like it looks. It'll look like it looks. When it gets there, it gets there. Gold and blue. Well, the thing is, they're not flowers or leaves, but does she have like some... Yeah, maybe something in those... Like there's some, I don't know, some weird, like, what is that? I don't know what. See, like, there's these things. I don't know what these are supposed to be. This little, like, that looks like it could just be wood. I'm thinking all that is like a piece of like a root of something growing out, and then these leaf things, but these are all leaves all around her. Maybe you're right. Maybe if I just paint some of the leaves gold, oh, that might be interesting, huh? Kind of have some mixed highlighted gold leaves in the midst of all the blue leaves, and then have the stitching be kind of gold. That might be an interesting approach. Huh. Yeah, that might work. Let's see if I can remember, because the problem is I'm going to do this now, but I won't get him done. I'm not going to get her finished. I may not even get to all of that. All right, now I'm going to paint the white. Let's get some white down, because the white is going to be really easy to cover. You put white in the wrong place, it just covers up, right? You don't want to try to be painting white late though, because you'll get white all over everything else, and you'll be touching up all the time. And when you paint, you do want to paint the deepest areas first, and in this case, her pants are the deepest area. Which also means I'll probably have to put a lot of coats, because white is not a fun color. That is the one drawback to white. It is a color that, oh, you know what? I'm just going to paint over these stitches. I don't need to go around them. The gold will cover up no problem over the white, so I don't even, in fact, it'll probably cover up better than trying to go over the black. It's silly to try to paint around those stitches. Just cover it up, man. Try not to get too much on the leaves, but I'm not going to worry about the leaves even that much. It's one thing, like I said, white's nice because it's real easy to paint over it. Black is hard to paint over, though. You don't want to ever put black unnecessarily. Like if you're painting something black, don't get it on something that's white. It's a pain in the butt to fix. Yeah, making black turn back to white is a lot more work. Now, this may look kind of cool. I'm hoping it'll look cool. Problem is, it won't look like the character I have her playing right now. But so what? I wouldn't mind finding me a nice witch queen kind of model, but I haven't found one yet. I mean, there are some, and I probably could. I just haven't gone looking for one, and I can't afford to buy one right now, so I'm not shopping. I have a number of figures in my what do you call it? My Etsy shopping cart. And when I go back, I shop, and I like to. There's a few guys on Etsy who make awesome minis. I mean, they print them out, and they come out beautiful. They use good resin, they're high quality resin. They clean them up really nice. They don't leave a lot of junk. They don't leave a lot of the little extra pieces on them. They're just top quality, top notch. They cost a little bit more, but they are the way to go. But unfortunately, they don't carry every mini. So you're looking for minis, you got to find guys that, are pretty good. Every now and then you find a character, like there's this one, 425 miniatures or something like that. And their minis are a little bit cheaper. Oh boy, but they are not good. I mean, they're usable, but they use a lower quality print. I mean, it's not like the quality of the resin is any worse. It's just that it's not as detailed. They leave a lot more of the little stents and crap all over your minis, which is a pain in the butt to break off and clean off. And yeah, the thing is about them, they have all kinds of minis. I mean, they have a huge selection. So they're one of those that go for quantity over quality, while others will go for quality over quantity. But the problem is you have to go to different shops to keep finding the good stuff. And a lot of them are pretty decent. I'd say a lot of them are, like, I rate them. When I get new minis from an Etsy shop, I do a stream, and I have some old streams of various Etsy shops that I've tried, and I just haven't bought any in a while. But I go on there and then I do I do like a review of the minis, how they come out. I do like get my magnifying glasses out, talk about how much of the resin junk they leave on there, how much, how quality it is, how much, what do you call it, print lines are left, all that stuff, and give them a rating. And I've only ever given one company a 10, and that was a Master of Minis. And a couple of guys I'd say, and it's hard to get a 10, right? Because a 10 in the real world, in fact, I think I only gave them like a 9.95, but essentially they're about as close to perfect as you can really expect to get, whereas 10 would be perfect. Like I could not for my life find a flaw. And yeah, and I'm pretty picky, so it's pretty hard not to find a flaw. That's why I think I could be a good judge, because I know I can separate. I could judge painting quality. I can see how good, even though I know I'm not that good, because I can see my quality. I can see it, and I'm like, yeah, there's better. And I see some guys that I'm looking at. And there are times that I've seen some miniatures painted that are near perfect, and I'm like, yeah, I could see. I've also seen some minis that get rated really high, and I look at it and going, what are they seeing that I'm not seeing here? This is a pretty simple model. Simple model, simple paint job. But that's why I think I'd be a decent judge. If I was offered the opportunity to judge people's stuff, I hold my brush too high up sometimes, and all the weight in the back drops my brush out of my hand. And I think I'm a fair judge. I mean, I would just be able to see the difference enough. Like I could find two top quality items and look at them and go, I think I can see which one's better, simply because, and I could call out this item has this or that. So I guess in a sense, I'm a great nitpickier. I'm great at being nitpicky. That's. And you also got to see the overall. I mean, when you're judging, it's not just about the quality of the paint job, right? It's a lot of it's the scheme. How does this character look? What were they going for here? Does it work? Is it a good scheme that makes you just think, wow, that is just cool. Yeah, there's a couple of paint flaws in there, but dude, this guy really he put together an awesome mini. I feel bad because I remember the name of the 425 miniatures or whatever, 325. I guess I don't remember because I try to remember now. It's been long enough now. I feel bad because I remember them, so I mention them a lot as the worst one I've ever reviewed. So if anybody's ever on my thing, it's like they ask, so who makes the best minis on Etsy? Master of Miniatures. Who makes the worst? 325. There's only one company that's got it. It's 325 or 425. I think it's 325 miniatures. And it's like, so you don't want to be known as the worst of anything, right? Because the worst of anything stands out. Everybody else, second worst, nobody knows who you are. Nobody remembers you. You have a chance to recover and get yourself off that low end of the scale. And if you raise your bar and get up to the top, nobody's ever going to remember you as the worst. Problem is, 325 is now branded. It is really hard to get that off unless they like. Oh, here's the other thing about them. I part of my rating is customer service. Sometimes I actually will go back if I had to call them and say, hey, look, 'cause a lot of these guys, if they send you a model and it's broken, something broke off the staff or some minor thing, usually not totally broken, but something. And if they send you a model that's broken, you write them and they go, oh yeah, I'll send you a new one. They just send you a new one. Almost everybody. I had an issue with the 325's models too, and I wrote them. They didn't say nothing. I wrote the same guys. I asked them questions before I ordered, so they do respond. I told them it had these issues. No response. They didn't care. I wrote them. I go, nothing. It's like they didn't say nothing. They didn't offer no new ones. They didn't reply. They just said, yeah, well, you paid for them. They're yours. Good luck. It's like, okie dokie. Guess I'm stuck with these. But they were the only ones who never, the only company that never bothered to reply and offer to replace the broken mini or whatever. That was probably kind of a turnoff too. Most of the companies do pretty good. Exactly. That's what they did. It's interestingly enough, I don't remember where they were, but a lot of these companies on Etsy aren't even in the U.S., right? That Master of Miniatures, I think they're like, I don't know, in Germany or something. So it takes a little while to get these minis. You know, you're not ordering something that's just going to arrive in a week. Usually it takes a couple weeks because oftentimes they have to print the minis, right? So they're not even printed yet. They print them, they clean them up, they send them to you. They might say there's 3 left in stock when you order them, but that's just because they don't carry a stock. They just print them. Because a lot of times you ask for custom things, like you might say something like, "Hey, can I have this in 28 millimeters instead of 35?" Sometimes they'll say no because some models you can't shrink them because they'll lose too much of their what do you call it? Their, I want to say rigidity. Their I don't know. What's the word when something loses its form? I don't know. Anyway, but you can't do it. It's not practical to shrink them down sometimes. And they'll tell you sometimes, or sometimes they'll just print it and then it comes out really small and you're like, "Oh, that did not shrink the way I wanted it to." But I don't complain about that because that was my request. But if it comes to me broken, it's like, dude, did you even bother to look at this figure before you put it in the case? And you think, well, it broke on shipping. Sometimes I've gotten parts out of a shipping box. Well, once in a while, at least once or twice, I've gotten a mini out of a box, and I open very carefully because it comes, and I'll put it right in front of me. And then I pull the bubble wrap off, and I do it all right in front of the camera. And then I kind of make sure nothing's in it, and I throw it off to the side, and then I put the mini down. And there's a piece missing. Like something's broken off. His foot's missing. And I'm like, oh, is that like in the box somewhere? I can glue it back on. And it's nowhere to be seen. It's like, so it was like broken before they even put it in the box. Now, okay, so they may be doing lots of these and it didn't get through, but then you'd expect them to try to do something about it. But still, it's like, do you even look at your minis before you put them in the box? See, that's a sign right there. I mean, if I was printing something up that I knew had a tendency, that could flaw, you review it. Heck, even the cases that I sell, the Mage cages and X cases, they're rarely broken already, because they're sitting on a shelf ready to be shipped. But I still look at them every time because every now and then there is one that somehow, some way, one of the tabs or something got snapped off somehow. I mean, they're not easy to snap off, but who knows? Shipping, pressure, whatever, manages to break one off. Or maybe the mold just had too much, I don't know, flaws in it, too many, something in the mold, and that particular one didn't print right. Who knows? But still, if it's missing or broken off, you don't ship that. You review the thing. It only takes 2 seconds to look for obvious breaks. Like if you're looking at this girl, and she's missing a hand, hello, that's big. That's a big flag. Reprint the figure. I mean, you gotta look at the figure, man. When you're shipping stuff to customers, you can't just assume it's all perfect. It's not. That's the way the world is. Things don't print perfectly. They don't run perfectly. Yeah, some things might be 99 out of 100 are fine, but if there's 1 out of 100, then you need to look for that 100 every time you look. Every time you pack your products, you got to look for that 1 out of 100. It's one thing if, you can't really replace everything that breaks when the customer's using it. Like you try to, like the customer says, "Hey man, I was using this and I dropped it down 5 flights of stairs and it blew up." It's like, "Oh man, I feel for you. I'll give you a discount on the next order, but I can't really replace that." You dropped it down 5 flights of stairs. What'd you expect? But yeah, I feel bad. Maybe A lot of places wouldn't even give you that, but that's like me. I can't help it. It's like I don't know. I hate it when people, if somebody reaches out to me after something disastrous happens, I want to help them out. Maybe that doesn't make me a very good business guy, but I don't know. It's just feels wrong to let them say, to just go, yeah, you're out of luck, buddy. Probably shouldn't have thrown it down the steps. I didn't throw it. I tripped. It was icy. I don't care. Maybe next time you hold on to the rail. I don't know. Just don't fall. But, tell you what. We'll go to my website, order some more, and we'll ship them to you with some salt so you don't ice up your stairs don't get slippery again. Thanks, man. Yeah, tell me. I know. Well, that's the difference between a good customer service company and one that's not, whether people are more concerned about making money. It's like, okay, here's one to me. Here's one of my pet peeves. And I don't understand why people do this. And maybe somebody out there can explain what I'm missing. But you go to a store, they say if you're using a credit card, we charge 50 cents a transaction. Or whatever. They add extra, or 10, it costs 10% more if you're using a credit card. Whatever they do, 5% more. So they're letting you know that if you're using a credit card or even a debit card sometimes, they say, they want cash or it has to be, straight. They don't want to use a charge. And I'm like, you realize in almost every case, if they raise the price of all their products by 5 cents, it would more than cover any charge that they're adding on to that kind of thing. 5 cents or maybe 1% increase on everything they have in stock. And that means everybody who buys, cash, charge, doesn't matter what, everything gets that markup. They would more than make up all those tiny little charges without anybody knowing or even caring that they did it. I mean, across the board, if you want to make it up, add a tiny amount to everything, and you don't need to be nickel and diming people at the counter. I never understood all the little extra charges. Look, dude, if something costs you more to make or get it out, just raise the price, let people know how much it costs, and then they can pay the cost of the item. They don't need to worry about you going, oh, well, we also have this 20 cent charge for this and a $1.50 charge for that and a $3 charge for that. And it's like, well, then the cost is not, I understand tax being added on, but all those other charges are just you nickel and diming people. Unless there is some bizarre way to not pay those charges, that you would remove it. They shouldn't even exist. They should not exist. You should just be including them in the cost of your products. It's a ripoff. It's annoying, and I have turned away from companies simply on the fact that they're trying to nickel and dime me with all that crap. I don't understand it. I've never understood it. I will never ever run a business that way. If I'm getting charged for something, I'll raise the price on my products. That's what it costs. It costs me to make the products and sell them. You raise the price, but nobody's going to come in there and say, oh, you're going to get 20 cents for that and $1 for that and blah, blah, blah. You know who's notorious for that? DoorDash and all those companies like DoorDash. Your delivery's free. Oh, but we have service charges and we have food charges and bank charges and whatever the freaking charges they throw on there. And you still end up paying double the price of the food even without the delivery charge. So how did the food double in price with no delivery charge? Now, I'm not counting tip. Tip is another thing. But I'm talking about how is there no delivery charge but the food doubled in price? It's like, there's something wrong here. Because DoorDash, they just need to fess up. Look, you are a delivery company. Everything you do, every piece that you are involved in is delivery charge. There's not a delivery charge and then all the fees. Your business is delivery. Therefore, it's all delivery charge. The whole thing is delivery charge. You're not giving people free delivery if you just take off $2 and charge them 8. So that is not free delivery unless it's the same price as it was. It's only free delivery if your piece is not in the puzzle. The food is the same price as if I had walked into the store and bought it myself. That's free delivery. And I that's just one of the things that bugs the heck out of me. Look, if you're going to give a discount on delivery is X dollars, and we're taking 10% off of that for you. You know, that's it. It's 10% off of everything we charge, not 10% off of one little tiny piece. Half price delivery is not, off of a $20 charge is not $17. Half price delivery is off a $20 charge is $10. I mean, come on. I know. See, I'm ranting. I can rant about all kinds of stuff, man. I am capable of ranting about anything. Don't get me started on the nonsense that is evolution. It's like I can argue that one for days, but I don't like to because too many people get offended because it's an offended. It's a very to the right crowd. That's a very offensive conversation. So I don't like to get into it. Yeah, no, it's not bad to talk about them if people can talk and just, listen and absorb. It's one thing. I mean, or even converse. What do you call it? Civilly. But certain conversations, people just don't know how to converse civilly, and they get mad and angry, and it's just, yeah, that's a whole nother. And talking about things like evolution and anything you talk to that starts taking on a how do you call it, a religious bent will just get people fired up. It doesn't matter on what side you're on. You're either on for or against. It fires people up. Now, sometimes there are people who are genuinely want to know. They want to be curious. They want to talk. They want to talk about it because they truly want to see. They want to learn, which is fine. That's awesome. That the people that's the kind of person you want to talk to. You want to be able to converse with people who are willing to hear. Not everybody's willing to do that, though. And sometimes some certain people shouldn't converse, right? I mean, if you're so far on one side and the other person's so far on the other, that even if you can be civil, neither one of you is going to hear the other. I mean, you're basically talking to a wall. Like you're talking to a camera where the person on the other side doesn't respond. Like a streamer. You're a streamer. If you're if you're talking to someone who's so far on the opposite end of the belief spectrum that neither one of you is going to change or hear or even consider the options, then it's like, for me, when it comes to evolution, I don't understand how anybody can believe in some of that stuff, because it just doesn't make sense. There's no, I mean, even, people say, well, science. No, see, I'm getting there. I'm going there. No, I'm not going to go there. I'm just, I'm not going there. I'm going to be, no, I refuse to. But my nose is hurting now because I'm using these and my, look, my nose piece on there comes off. So I have to keep pushing it back, but it leaves a mark on my nose and starts hurting after a while. So I got to stop for a second. Yeah, I know. I feel like I almost wanted to do a video. I have three YouTube tags. I have striving to be Superman, which is one where I do work out. I work out and exercise on. Then I have my Active Minds gamer. That's the one I use the most. That's the one I do all this other stuff. And then I have another one which I don't even think I've put anything up there. I just use it as a personal account. I don't think I use it for anything. But I thought about using that one and just having discussions, talking, just blathering to the wall a lot of times about my beliefs about certain things, and a lot of evolution, and even silly things like the possibility of superhero powers, and the premise of if they existed kind of thing, and just all these different things. But I feel like I don't have enough content for that, and starting another tag up from zero just sounds sucky. So but I had actually created a whole list of different topics I wanted to try to talk about. And the problem is I try to keep my Active Mind Gamer stream pretty light. Fun stuff. Gaming related stuff. Yes, I do some programming on there, but it's all just kind of friendly. You start getting into topics, and you're crossing lines, and then you got to start dealing with haters and all that stuff. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if that's for me. I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could deal with haters, because I get frustrated. And I mean, yes, you can block people who are just being jerks, but I'm just saying it's a tough thing. Well, it's rubber. It's like you can't. I mean, you can kind of glue it, but it's really soft. That's why I say they're my backup. I had bought these replacement ones, which are really good, but it doesn't bother me as much. But that's why I'm fixing it. Yeah, but then I'd be one of a bunch, right? I mean, you really think about it. There's a lot of people out there already making those, already having, who are already crossing that line of, hey, let's talk about the stuff nobody wants to talk about, or everybody wants to talk about, and they just want to steam. Because that's one of the things. If you're a firm believer in certain things, a lot of times you just get angry because you watch videos. That's why I hate. Okay, you may not know this about me, but I don't like the news. I don't watch the news. In fact, a lot of times my wife will go, "Hey, did you know blah blah blah?" And I'm like, "No, what? When did that happen?" She goes, "It just happened. A big earthquake in such and such, or the kids all got gunned down in so and so and somewhere." And I'm like, "Wow, that's terrible. What what happened?" This just happened. How do you not know this? And I'm like, "Cause I don't read the news. It's because it gets me angry. I don't understand." Yeah, maybe. Would it be successful? I say maybe. I guess. I mean, it could. But then again, I'm starting from zero, and look how long it's taken me to get to 120 people on my YouTube channel. It's taken me 2 years to get to 120 people. I don't even think I have 120 on YouTube. I think I have like 115 on YouTube and like 120, 130 on my Twitch. And that's on. And then my other stream is settling around about 100. Actually, my fitness stream does terrible on YouTube. I think I've only got like 20 or 30. But on Twitch, I've got like 100 and some there. But I don't know why. Just different people. I think it comes down to live, right? So YouTube is not a live stream platform. I mean, yes, you can live stream. But I do way better. My live streams do way better on Twitch than they do on YouTube. But if it's a good content or something useful and has a lot of value to it or to people, obviously it does way better after the stream on YouTube. Because YouTube is like when people go looking for something, if people go looking for something, they look for it on YouTube. And so if your stream comes up and it's got something they want to watch, I get almost all of my views and the majority of my follows come after I've already streamed. I'm done. I've been done for hours, and then suddenly I'll get like 10 follows or something because they see it. I think my fitness streams are okay, but really all I do is exercise and talk about them and that kind of thing. I'm not a what do you call it, a fitness trainer. So here's the niche I have tried to settle into with my fitness streams. I do other people's workouts. I've done the Athlete on X, I've done Insanity, I've done various versions of Insanity. I've done P90X. I've done P90X3. I don't know if I did P90X2. I've done the HIIT workouts that are on, Beachbody. A lot of these are Beachbody workouts. And I've done Peloton workouts. I've done some of the bike trainer ones, like what I call the Pain Cave, I guess, actually has a whole bunch of them. The guy who does those, he's great. They're DVDs. But so that's what I do. I do other people's workouts, and then I kind of talk about them. What do I think of this workout? How good are these workouts? Would I recommend it for other people? What are the flaws with it, in my opinion? So that's what I do. That's my niche for my streams. And my problem is, I don't stream as much. I don't stream regularly because sometimes I'll stream 2 or 3 times in a month or in a week, and then I won't stream for a month. And this is because some of these workouts, I do want to finish them. And so I continue on, but they're repetitive. Like the one I'm doing now, the Cali Move calisthenics one, is, that's what YouTube's all about. But the Cali Move one is just a lot of repetition. It's good workout, good exercise, but it's like, if I stream this, it'll be the same as the one I did yesterday or last Friday. I mean, I'm doing the same thing and doing it again and again and again. And yeah, it changes it up every few weeks a little bit, or minor changes every unit, which is about a month. But it's a repetitive one, so I don't like, that's the things about workouts. You have to do the workout, and the workout is oftentimes not going to change every single time. So do I want to stream this one? Do I feel like talking about the same one over and over again? Again today. So yeah, that's the thing. So plus the other thing with my fitness streams, the audience doesn't fit my goals. I guess. So, I mean, I do it to share the fitness and do my experience, but my goals are to try to build my primary goal when I first started streaming was to build my awareness for my cases, for the X case and the Mage Cage and whatever name I give them in the future. That's a whole nother thing. But I actually wanted to sell them more. So I wanted to reach out to the gamers and the people out there who might be playing games, painting. That's when I first started streaming, that's what I did. I painted. That's all I did, because I knew the miniatures went with the cases. And then I would talk about them. And I don't talk about the cases all the time. In fact, I need to do more where I need to set up like a little commercial-y thing like they do on Critical Role, where at the very beginning, somebody will do one of their guys will do a little commercial for whatever product they're shilling for. In my case, I'm shilling for my own product, but I'd like to do like a little thing like that, and then right at the beginning of a stream, go ahead and run it. Hey guys, how's it going? Hey, what are you up to today? Are you into miniatures? And I can do the whole bit where I talk about my cases and let everybody see it, and then it'll run for a minute or two, and then come back and I just do what I'm doing. I need to do something like that just so that I can have that in there. I could have my shill, get it in there, and then just go about this thing rather than my trying to find time in each stream to talk about it. But hey, my thing finished. It actually did. Wait, 48? Was that it? Was that all I had left? That was all I had left. It finished. So all of my XP is done. Well, all I'm gonna do this time around anyway. I probably need to start spending time on promotion raids and other crap now. Oops, let's go back here. Well, I moved up, surprisingly enough. I moved up on the hero training. All this moving guys up got me up on the hero training quite a bit. Okay, let's see. We'll go here. Do a bunch more of these. Bunch more of those. Man, 2 million experience just burns so fast. It's like it's nothing. Oh, nothing good there. Look at that. All of that. And I get 1 5-star out of it. All those guys I just did, I got 1 5-star. Sheesh. That's terrible. So I think I have enough to promote 1 guy to 6 stars. I think I was gonna do hollow, right? Wasn't it hollow I decided I was gonna do? Man, all that XP is just gone. One. Alright, well, now hollow 6. Now I need to do promotion stuff. Look at it, I'm number 1! He was number 1! Of course, it goes for another 2 days and I'm used up all my stuff. I'm not gonna... Actually, I probably could do. Alright, so if I wanted to do these 2 guys, get them up some promotions. Hollow, if I want to promote her to 6, and I gotta promote this girl up too. So, if I want to promote her, I need to do some promotions. Looks like I need about 50. So we'll go auto fight. 50 is what? 7 times through? Probably could do it in 7. So I'm gonna need some more stuff. Let's do 5. That should probably be enough to do 7 runs. Let's go to 10. A little extra never hurt anybody. I'll need to do a lot for the legendary chick. I'll need to do probably double that, maybe 15 to 20. Because I need to promote her twice. And if it's the same number, I'll need to do her 2 times. But I have a lot of stamina, so I could probably run a lot of these things and get them up there. So, what time is it? It's 2 o'clock. You know what? I probably should wrap it up. At 3 o'clock, I have to be at my callback. I get to go act some more today. And then tomorrow, I find out if they actually want me in their play. So that'll be interesting. So yeah, I don't know that I can get much more painting done. I'm probably gonna have to eat some lunch or something. Gosh, this day's going fast. These days off, my rest day just goes so quick, you know. Yeah, got to do it. Got to eat, right? Hey man, hey, I got paint on one of these guys. I said I was gonna slap paint on these. I did. I got primer and some white, which of course that's like not even a complete white coat. See, that's the thing about white. It's you need to put lots of coats. So let it dry, put in the coat. Let it dry, let it in the coat. And you got to put it thin. A thick coat, don't do thick coats. Thick coats suck. They leave streaks and crap all over your guys. So you got to do thin and just keep going over it. And especially if you put it on top of black, because you just gotta keep going. I'll tell you, some of these guys, they put 8, 9, 10, 15 layers of paint on there. They go very thin. A lot of times it looks like it's not even doing much, but it does go on, and it's beautiful if you do it their way. I'm more of a 3 to 4 coats guy, so my paint's a little thicker, or maybe it's not quite as bold, but still, it's you got to do a lot of layers if you don't want it to look streaky. So yeah. Anyway, society, man. Thanks for coming by. You've been keeping me company for 2 days now. I appreciate it. Until next time, You take it easy, man.